Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been before. Thanks for coming. So today I'd like to do a tag. So basically my daughter went back to school today after 2 months, so it's been very nice to sit here and just have a bit of time to myself and not be called upon to do lots of things and make food all day, and anyone who's a parent knows what I'm talking about. It's just been nice to be quiet for a few hours and, play with my decks and read some notes that I've made for myself about things that I'd like to do. So yeah, I've had a few videos in mind and I haven't been able to get to them, but now I can, hopefully, over the next few days. So the one that I really want to do is, it was a tag started by Feeding My Soul. I think she started it, and she did it based on her username, which is Feeding My Soul 1212. So she used the 12, she's calling it the 12 deck tag. And she's got some prompts, but she said basically there are no rules. You can do whatever you want. So she did hers in sets of 3 decks with 4 prompts. So if I remember rightly, she had 3 decks you couldn't wait to open and that you haven't put down since you opened them. 3 decks you've never felt called to use. 3 decks for a deep dive, and then 3 decks that you want to use in 2025. So it's quite a open tag anyway, and I decided I'm going to drop the second prompt and I'm going to add my own prompts at the end, but I'm going to do the same 3 decks per prompt and 4 prompts. So without any further chatting, prompt 1, so 3 decks that you couldn't wait to open and you haven't put down since you opened them. So I got this quite recently. So I've mentioned before I haven't been collecting decks for very long. I had a few decks for a long time, and now I've got a little library of decks, not millions, but I've been wanting to get this one for a while. It's a Thoth based deck, and I've been wanting a couple of Thoth based I've been looking for a couple that I've enjoyed the artwork. It did come dented, unfortunately, but I ordered it from the Netherlands in the end because it's sold out in many places and it's quite hard to get it in the UK. So I got this from a Netherlands shop, and it's gorgeous. And as soon as it came, I was like, okay. I ripped the box open and I've used it pretty much every day since. It's lovely, and it's really nice to use, and it's not a scary Thoth. I mean, some of the cards are a little bit scary, but it's been really nice to read with it, and with the bee theme in general. I've found that a really nice kind of way into the Thoth system. I don't have an actual Crowley Thoth, the one that he did with what's her name, Lady Frida Harris. I don't have one using his artwork because I don't particularly like it. But I've been really enjoying the system and the correspondences and things like that with this deck particularly. So first of all, it has these beautiful backs. It's a really nice textured deck as well. It's like satin, and then you get your little book, and the descriptions are really nice, and it's all this story about a bee that it's like the bee is the fool, basically. It's the bee's journey instead of the fool's journey. So yeah, the author, which is I have forgotten their name. Should be here, no? Kelly Burton, there you go. Yeah, the author said that they we're focusing on bees because of the symbiotic relationship and the fact that bees are under threat. Yeah, if the bee disappeared off the surface of the globe, then man would only have 4 years of life left. No more bees, no more pollination. So they focused on the bees and the journey of the bee. Yeah, the story of the bee's journey offers a narrative that can be used to understand the card meanings. So they're all kind of little anecdotes about the bee at the centre of the story. So the journey, the sacred bee leaps into the portal that lies before her. She's carried by the sacred first breath or wind of creation. There are no preconceived notions or expectations. The mission begins with an innate intelligence that guides the graceful movement of her wings, taking her forward. And it has the Hebrew letter and the element and the practice. Explore new potential. Know that you have undiscovered abilities. Take a leap of faith and follow your dreams. So it's quite a, you know, it's quite a nice positive deck. Although, I mean, I have got the, you know, cards like Ruin and things like that. But yeah, it's not too scary. I do find Thoth a little bit scary. It's beautiful to shuffle, lovely cardstock. Anyway, these are the images. Yeah, there's Ruin straight away, see? That actually, and worry, and then recovery, patience, renounce, pleasure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge collage art fan, but I find this one quite pleasing. There's victory, and it's even got the batons. And the knight is an owl. Seduction, and it's the Venus flytrap seducing the bees. Yeah, that's quite a weird one. Some of the people have bees over their faces. Oh, and that's a beautiful chariot. I love that. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I opened this and I have, yeah, like I say, I've been pulling a card or 3 or even 5 every couple of days since I got it, whenever I get time to sit down, basically. I usually like try and pull cards from an RWS and Marseille, and either an RWS or a Thoth and a Marseille every day, and then usually an oracle card as well. I try to. Doesn't always work. But yeah, that is the journey of the sacred bee. And it's beautiful. The next one that I couldn't wait to open, I've shown before. So this is the Bomazo. And I've talked about it quite a bit. I got this, I couldn't wait, I opened it, and yeah, I've been working with it ever since. It's a beautiful deck. It's a perfect size. I love the smaller size. I've been working with a lot of smaller size decks. They're also nice for the video system camera that I've got set up here. I can actually make this a bit higher, hold on. There, so we're not quite as close, but anyway. And it's got this lovely, yeah, the gold highlighting on it, and it's a Minchiati, so it has the extra virtues and the astrological cards, these ones, and that's is that Sagittarius or Capricorn? Capricorn. And then yeah, this is the Queen of Cups or the Valet. I actually have to check because I think a couple of the valets are female. It's like a Marseille system deck. Cancer. When I say Marseille system, I mean it's, you know, it uses pips for the minors. Death. That's the Lover's card with the crown. And yeah, I've been working with this as well, partly because there's a really nice series on Aminciati that Musings by Masha is doing, and it's been really fun because lots of people are kind of putting information out about Aminciati and how to work with them. So I've been enjoying using this system, and now I actually kind of prefer it to the smaller decks. It's really fun to use. Look at the beautiful watercolours. Yeah, it was all hand painted. And then obviously cold stamped. Hold on, that's Aries, right? The Ram. Yeah, and these are the element cards as well. So there's fire, earth, air and water. That's the trumpets. Calling it the correct name now. Anyway, I'm going to stop. I can't stop. It's so beautiful. I'm going to stop. That's Libra. Look at that. That's a great card to stop on. I have a Libra moon. In fact, do I have a Libra moon or Libra rising? I'll have to double check. I think it might be Libra rising actually. Aries moon, Libra rising, something like that. So that is the Bamazo, and yeah, I pulled that open straight away and I haven't put it down ever since. Oh, I forgot the extra cards. And then the last one that I couldn't wait to open, and I'm only really talking about like decks I've got quite recently, was this one, which is a little oracle by Zeppelin Moon, and it came through and I was really excited about it because it looked so lovely, and then it came in this lovely little velvet blue pouch first of all, which is gorgeous, and it's got a little frog on it, and the indie maker, I've been trying to buy indie decks when I can, like, you know, not expensive ones, but there's the instructions, and it's really cute. She says, this pack of oracle cards is divided into matters of the sky, the earth, the sea, the heart, and the universe. These 5 suits each contain 10 cards, culminating in the grand sum of 50 tiny well-wishes, plus a lucky 4 wild cards. Please peruse them tempestuously or scatter them freely as your heart desires. There are no rules of interpretation because rules are very silly indeed, according to my cat. And this might be her cat, or my heart Amber. And it's just a really nice, positive deck. The readings give you a boost. So this is the cat of great fortune staring at you, but he means well, and that cat reminds me of my cat. And these are just the extra cards that came. I did a bad thing once and I'll do it again. These are just the extra cards that that she put in. Pick a card, any card, sang the crow who had no voice. Yeah, the actual deck is gorgeous, and I don't know if any of you do this, but with oracle cards, I sometimes avoid looking through them, because then when I pick a card, like if I do a daily draw or whatever, I sometimes get surprised and see a card I've never seen before. I actually, I drew this one this morning. Oh, you did not know that you are beautiful. There's a platypus. Love that. So yeah, I haven't looked through the whole deck, because I've wanted to keep some of the cards a surprise for later, but I can go through a few of them. But they're just beautiful. Far away things look so small. So this is the setup from the 10 air cards, and there is a little, some kind of bear type thing in a basket. Kaleidoscope the mind, fragments glitter, fall and morph, crack and burst, every glisten, unique, amazes. You see, I haven't seen that one before. And if you got that in the morning, it'd give you a real boost for the day, wouldn't it? My hot shit brings all the flies to the yard. Look at his face. Hyena. I love it. And this is actually the back of the deck as well. The reality is that magic is real. Just really nice sentiments. Haven't seen this before either. What goes down must come up. Yeah. Oh, I've seen this one. I love it. Dear heart, I got this one morning and I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. Dear heart, may you find a treat, a rest, a little luck along your way today. Look at the sad toad in a jumper. Yeah, it's amazing. Why wear your sad face when you can wear your banana? We the cosmic tumble down and ramble on to forage for stars, for they taste so sweet. A beetle has better places to be. Always. They always do have better places to be. A peaceful world is worth believing in. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I want to save some surprises for later. But yeah, I absolutely love this deck, and I've used it, yeah, every day since I got it, whenever I've remembered. So that was about a month ago. And I'm going to keep that out and using it because it makes me feel nice. So that is Blooming Lovelies by Zeppelin Moon. Okay, I'm just going to have to plug in my iPad 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so that was prompt 1, the decks that I couldn't wait to open. So prompt 2, I'm going to go with 3 decks for a deep dive. So the first one is this Dame Fortune's Wheel Tarot. And I really like the artwork. It's like grabbed me, this has. It's by Paul Hewson, who's pretty well known, I think, in general in the tarot community for his books and things. And he did this amazing in-depth deck. And he kind of adapted the more traditional majors, and then he did his own illustrations for the minors. So that's the 7 of Cups, which kind of reminds me of the Astronomer card in some of the old Italian decks. 6 of Battens. Okay, see? Rest, interesting. And then 7. King of Coins. Yeah, he's nice. I like his horns. 2 of Cups. So you see he's illustrated them, and you know the meanings are... So he's illustrated pips, but obviously in a different way than Pamela Coleman Smith. And I want to get to know this system. I want to get to know, you know, how it differs and how it remains faithful, particularly with the Marseille system. And then, yeah, how it crosses over with things like the Golden Dawn. What's that? Rosicrucianism, isn't it? So yeah, I want to dig into it basically, and it needs a deep dive. It comes with this little booklet, so let's have a look at the 7 of Coins. Patterns. They're in a different order than usual. Coins are first, I think. Yeah, okay. 7 of Coins, so you get money, riches, sum, coinage, silver, whiteness, purity, candor, innocence, honesty. Okay. So, I mean, you can kind of see in terms of the colour scheme and things like that, how those associations come through. But he's also got a massive book, and I'm just going to show you. Oh, I'm going to have to tilt my iPad. Ooh. Hold on, I'm going to break it. There it is. So this is on, I got it on Kindle. This is the Queen of Coins, and so you get so much more information about the cards. And so I want to go through this whole book and understand all the associations. So here, for example, a card's generally believed to represent either the subject of the reading or a person with whom they're having or will have dealings. The most popular title for the Paris pattern version of this card is Argine, thought by some to be an anagram of Regina, Latin for queen, and to represent Mary of Anjou, wife to the French King Charles VII. So there's a lot of historical information there. Lehmann introduced a chantress with a similar name, an enchantress, in his Arthurian Chronicle, an alter ego of Morgan Le Fay, and so on and so forth. Whoever she may turn out to be, it represents a dark-haired woman, frequently a businesswoman, often wealthy, and so on. And then the key word, brunette woman, Argine, upright, wealth, riches, pomp, luxury. So you see, there's a lot of information in the larger booklet, and that's for all of the cards, for the majors and the minors. So I really want to dig in and do a deep dive and get to know this deck like really well, because I think it would also give you a lot in terms of tarot history, because you know he's a very learned tarot scholar. So that is one deck I want to do a deep dive. And I started this month, and then because of school holidays I got totally distracted, so it's staying on my desk for August. Okay, the other one I did actually manage to start doing a deep dive of this. So this is a Marseille, but it's the Marseille of the New Incarnation by Eugene Vinitsky and Elsa Kapatnikovsky. And I think he did the images and she did the writing, I'm not quite sure. But basically this is a Marseille with full illustrated pips, and they've done their own illustrations based on folkloric tales. So here you've got like the Five of Cups, but the illustrations are supposedly associated with the Marseille meanings rather than the RWS meanings. So it's not like a combination of RWS pips and Marseille majors, it's Marseille pip meanings described in new illustrations. So it's a pretty impressive project, and they sent Eugene sent me a PDF, and I printed it out with all the meanings of the cards in. And I've been going through, so I've been drawing cards, and whenever I've drawn a card, I've read the story, and then I've checked it against my own kind of Marseille meanings, because I've developed, you know, my own kind of system which I read the Marseille with, and that's basically elemental and numerical, like numerology, and plus the suit element. Well, not really the element, plus the suit. So yeah, like coins, for example, are material wealth, and swords are like intellectual, and batons are like projects, and cups are like emotion. I'm just very much simplifying that, but that's the kind of system, and then you couple that with numerology. So they do that as well. So they'll give you like a story. So for the Ten of Wands, a winemaker was known for his excellent wines and so on. He had an unfortunate year, and bad weather destroyed his harvest. He was in despair, but then his old customers approached him. They purchased all his barrels at once, proving that a good name and reputation often make a man richer. And then it explains the card combines the values of the Wheel of Fortune, trump number 10, because 10s map onto the major, first 10 of the majors, the numerology of the number 10, which is completion broadly, and the start of a new cycle, and the value of the wand suit. That's how I've been doing it. So yeah, I've been going through and seeing how each of them map onto, and I need to carry on with it because first of all, I'm really enjoying it, and it's great practice for reading the cards, and it also helps me develop my own system. And you know, the work that they've put into this system is amazing. So here, for example, the Six of Swords, I got this card this morning actually. So their general meaning was adapting to a challenging environment. So they're saying challenge is the sword suit, whereas I think of it more as intellectual. Ideology, communities, finding new communities of interest. So I've added intellectual stimulation to that as one of the meanings that I would ascribe to swords plus 6. So, but this little booklet's amazing, and because I printed it out myself, I'm just scribbling all over it. I've got, oh there you go, I've got my numerical meanings at the back. Yeah, it's really cool. So that is a deep dive deck, and I'm just going to carry on until I've read all the cards. And yeah, I just sometimes throw out a row of 5 and just read all 5, and do that a few times, and it just helps me to develop my understanding of these particular cards, which is really cool, and also my own understanding of the Marseille in general. So I am enjoying that. Okay, and then the last one, which I am going to deep dive, is the William Blake. And I bought this a while ago, and I've had it waiting for me, and I just haven't. That was one that I actually had down if I was going to do the decks I've never felt called to use. Because I haven't felt called to use it. And then the other day I was watching a video and somebody brought this out, and they were like, this is such a great deck, and they started talking about all the reasons why it's amazing. I was like, oh yeah, it really is. It's this kind of creativity, and I mean, the deck's beautiful as well. Look at that beautiful golden gilding. It's got some slightly weird cards in it. But the more I'm now looking at the cards, the more I'm enjoying it. Look at that. Woman of Music. These little nymphs by the water and stuff. Loud, loud and more loud, the living music floats upon the air. And again, this has got a little booklet with it, which gives you a bit of information. Woman of Music. Where is that? Child. Woman. So, desire for beauty, grace and tranquility. Yeah, so each of the suits has been renamed. So this is cups, I'm assuming, for now. So it gives you a meaning. Tuning into the emotions and needs of people around you, psychic abilities, using your talents and charms best effect, finding benefit in solitude and dreams, and so on. Yeah, so solitude and dreams would be my understanding of the Queen of Cups. Exploration and expression, but then there's always this additional creative process prompt, and I find that I will find that very useful, because it's nice to have creative prompts, and I'm looking at decks that lean into kind of creative prompt work as well. So vibrate in tune with life's energy to become a conduit for creativity and inspiration to others. So again, yeah, that's kind of linked to the dreaminess of the Queen of Cups. So this is a deck that I want to work with. Oh, and then I was going to say, so aside from this, he's actually produced a really massive version of the guidebook, and I think that might be why I froze, because it's another PDF that I've got on my Kindle account, and I've suddenly got all these books that I've got to read, so I want to do a deep dive on it and get into that book as well, but I have not managed yet. So if I don't manage it this month, I might try and get to that next month after the thingy wheel Dame Fortune's Wheel. So anyway, just a few cards. There's 2 of Science. Oh, that one's a weird one. 4 of Painting. There are some weird. I mean, this guy, why is he wearing a nappy? I don't know. I don't get it. I need to find out more. Child of Painting. I mean, it's William Blake, you know, things are sometimes a bit bonkers in William Blake. I don't know William Blake very well, but I do want to, so again, that's another reason to. So 10 of Science, that would be swords, and if we've got keywords at the top: defeat, transformation, man of music. You know, they're very busy images, and I'm not usually a big fan of busy images. But yeah, there's a lot to look at here. Even around the edges are really interesting. So, Angel of Painting. You know what I mean? It's going to be really interesting to get into this. This world is all one continued vision of fancy or imagination. Yeah, I like the words on some of the cards as well. 3 of Science, jealousy, musing, and I wrote my happy songs, every child may joy to hear. So yeah, I think the music, poetry, we were placid here by the universal brotherhood and mercy with powers fitted to circumscribe this dark satanic death. Powers. Wow. 5 of Science. Oh, I must stop. Shall I stop? Experience. I think that's Chariot. Yeah, lots of renaming as well. So it's a whole system that I do want to find out more about. Oh, what am I doing? Doing it all wrong. There we go. Okay, so that is the William Blake Tarot, and sorry, it was by what's his name? Ed Byrne. Okay, so that was prompt 2, 3 decks for a deep dive. Prompt 3 is 3 decks I want to use in 2025. So I've got that before the end of the year, basically. So this one is one that I want to use. I've already started a deep dive on this, and I wanted to kind of read the book. I was talking to Mystic Man about this the other day. I kind of want to read the book before I start using the deck, and then I got it, and it was just as we were getting into spring, and I've never pulled it out because it feels like it's going into winter deck. So I'm really excited about using this as a going into winter deck. But it does have, it's all the suits are, all the mages are associated with Scandinavian mythology from Finland, Finnish folklore, there you go. And it's this whole story about these characters, and yeah, it's the Kalevala, the national epic of Finland. So it's this whole story about these various characters. The smith Ilmarinen, who forges the Sampo, which is a wondrous mill, and he forges a Sampo for the goddess Louis in exchange for her eldest daughter. And then the folk of Kalevala grow envious and demand to get their share of the riches from the mill. And Väinämöinen, I don't know if I'm saying any of these words right, Ilmarinen and Youkahainen steal it. And there's a pursuit and a battle and blah, blah, blah. And it's this whole story. Like I say, I started reading them, and there's really nice stories. Obviously, I'm not familiar particularly with these stories and traditions, but they're really nice to get to know. So I want to finish reading that and and then use this as we start going into the end of autumn, start of winter. Yeah, so and the cards are beautiful. Let me just do a few cards. I feel like I'm taking ages with this video. Am I taking ages? See, I haven't shuffled it yet. Maybe I did and then I unshuffled it, I'm not sure. But that is, I think I'm about halfway through the majors with the stories, maybe even past that. So that's the beginning, the Fool, and this is an egg. There's Ilmarinen, and he's the one who forges the, yeah, he's the one who forges the Sampo, so he's forging the Sampo. This is the High Priestess, mother of Lemminkainen. He's another, that's Louis, the Empress. She's the mother of the daughter that Ilmarinen gets via forging the Sampo. I'm not making sense anymore. Väinämöinen. And there's the shaman, Hierophant. The wedding. I think Pohjola is the daughter of Louis. Lamentation of the boat. Wow. Yeah, and some of these are gorgeous. Look at that lovely horse, Lemminkainen. So yeah, they're really, really nice cards, and I'm looking forward to the Hermit. And there's the Sampo, which is the Wheel of Fortune. So that's the amazing mill that they will fight about. They will fight over. Love rivals as justice, which is interesting. Yeah, so they kind of slightly map onto more kind of traditional RWS, but they are also in some ways quite different, and it does lead to slightly different meanings and readings, which I like. I like different systems. I don't want everything to be RWS. I think that would be rather boring. So that is one that I'm going to use before the end of the year. Another one is this one, Folkloric Forest. Again, I got this. I ended up getting it in the summer while I was in the UK, and it feels like a winter deck. So I'm actually I love this deck so much, and I still haven't shuffled it. I'm like teasing myself with how much I love it. What's that? Oh yeah, King of Pentacles. So I'm going to start using this as soon as the nights start drawing in a little bit, because it's absolutely beautiful and I love it, and I can't wait to use it actually. Yeah, it's a curated deck, so mostly Northern European painters, and I know I'm gonna just adore using this. But yeah, it just feels like it's going to fit really well towards the spooky season and the autumn season. Love that. Witch on a goat. The Hermit. Yeah, it's beautiful. Anyway, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this deck, but again, I have not shuffled it, and I'm kind of drawing out my enjoyment by waiting to use this. I'm going to leave that there, because the other deck that I want to use before the end of the year is this, and I got this like yesterday, literally, or was it the day before? Anyway, I got it like a second ago, and this is the expansion pack to the Tarocchi by Mr. Freeborg, which is a Marseille type deck with kind of spooky imagery. It's got all these kind of zombie figures. I don't know enough about it yet, and like I said, I just received this, but I ordered the expansion. They don't have the original deck in stock anymore, but I wanted to get the expansion because I thought I could use it as an oracle. I actually recorded a video about this the other day, but I haven't posted it yet. But I thought I could use it as an oracle alongside other decks. And in fact, I was wondering about shuffling it in. And I checked earlier, and it's the exact same size as the Folkloric Forest, and kind of a similar like weight. The Folkloric Forest is a little bit more bendy and slightly kind of linen-y feel. This is quite satiny, but I don't know, I think it might work to be shuffled in with it. Otherwise I could use it side by side, that wouldn't be a problem. But because the size is the same, I might be able to shuffle it in. Anyway, it's basically, it adds the elements, the extra virtues, like a Minchiati deck. So, and the, so there's one of the virtues, the Grand Duke even from the Minchiati. So you could turn a deck into, is that faith? Prudence. Just trying to figure these out. Esperanza is hope, right? So you could shuffle these in and turn a deck into a Minchiati effectively. And it's got the astrological signs as well. That's Father Time, which is a hermit replacement, but you could just shuffle them in, you know, and then you get a bigger deck. And I could just turn my decks into Minchiati decks. I'm quite excited about the idea, and because it's a bit spooky, I think it might work as a, you know, a fall slash Halloweeny deck. Not that I'm massively into Halloween. We never really did it when I was growing up in the UK. It wasn't a big thing, but I do feel like it might be quite fun to add this into the Folkloric Forest. It has a similar kind of, you know, slightly dark and murky vibe. Look at that. Virgo. Virgo is an angel of death. It's really cool. And that's Libra, we saw earlier from the Bamazo. Scorpio. So yeah, that is another deck that I want to work with, and I'm either going to use it as an oracle side by side, or I'm going to shuffle it in. Let me know your thoughts. Is that crazy? Okay, so that is the 3 decks that I want to use before the end of this year. Now the last tag I changed. So yeah, her other tag was the 3 decks which you've never felt called to use, but I decided to do 3 decks which remind you of your pets. I don't know why, it sounded fun. And I've got decks that remind me of my pets. So the first one I'm going to share is the Inglewood Hunting deck. So I recently posted an unboxing of this. It's a little 52 card playing card based on a couple of historical decks from Germany, and Ian Campsty in the UK did it, and he did it all in watercolours, and it's just beautiful. And I've been working out a system to use it. I'm going to do a separate video, but I've mapped the suits against the elements. So deer are batons, fire, hounds are cups, water, hawks are swords, the air element, and then pheasants are coins, the earth element. So I figured that out, and now I'm going to, I'll do a little video showing some readings from that on another occasion. But the pets that this reminds me of, I don't have any deer as pets or pheasants, and now it's not showing us any of my pets. There we go. The hounds. So I've got 2 hounds. I did tack on a video of my hounds to one of my videos the other day. But yeah, my hounds are kind of like this. I've got Vizslas, Hungarian Vizslas, which are also called redbird dogs, and they're hunting dogs. And they love being in a pack, even though we've only got a pack of 2. And they're just lovely dogs. They're very good family dogs, but they have huge amounts of energy. You have to take them out and make them think that they're hunting. My little girl, who's only 2, I mean my dog girl, not a human girl, Um, she hunts butterflies in the absence of anything better to hunt. And yeah, that is a very typical hound scratching its nose pose. So this deck reminds me of my Vizsla dogs. There's one. Aww. That I love very much. Okay. The next deck that reminds me of my pets, decks that remind you of pets, is this, which is brand new to my collection. I got it yesterday. I've already posted a walkthrough and it's really fun. And it is the Mirasol and Casey. Let's see, there you go, Mirasol and Casey. I forget the artist's name, it's a weird name. Kiki Katchaf, an illustrator from China. And they've done these lovely kind of Studio Ghibli-ish images. And Casey is the little ginger cat. So this reminds me of my furry ginger cat. He actually doesn't have a white tummy, but there's one card in particular where she's like picking him up and he's struggling, or in the deck her cat is a kitten, is a female actually, but it really reminds me of me fighting my cat when he doesn't want me to, I don't know, bring him inside or whatever. But it's very cute. It's full of cats and it reminds me of my Messi. His name is Messi. It's after Lionel Messi, the footballer, but he's also a kind of messy cat. Aww. Cat in the snow. I don't know if my cat's ever seen snow. And he's 14 or 15 years old now, my cat. He was my firstborn. We got him before we got our dog and then before I had my daughter as well. That's the one. He's like pushing her face. Get off me! So yeah, this is a deck that reminds me of my pets. And the last one is an oldie but a goodie. It's not very old, but it's been in my collection a while now. And that is the Woodland Wardens, which is a stunning deck. And when I brought it out for this tag, I thought I need to bring this out more because it's so beautiful. The cardstock is lovely as well. I've sort of forgotten how nice and tactile this is, but I love the images too. The booklet is really nice to use, very simple readings, but they were always really on point, particularly with things like questions around work and stuff. So I really like this deck. Romance. And the reason this deck reminds me of my pets is because of one card in particular, this one, the Horse and the Bluebell. And I used to have a horse for several years when I lived in South Africa, and his name was Gaultier, and he had a big white stripe down his nose, and he had black points, black nose and black feet, and he was a dark bay. He was a thoroughbred ex-racehorse, and he was absolutely gorgeous. And I had to sell him, unfortunately, when I had a child. I couldn't ride and I couldn't get out to him enough, but he was just such a beautiful horse. So that card always makes me think of him. Yeah, so it's a beautiful deck generally, but this is a deck that reminds me of my pets. So that's it. Yeah, I just changed the one prompt, but go and watch the videos from, I mean, quite a few people have done this tag now, I think, and it's a really fun one. People are interpreting it in different ways. Some people are following the original set of prompts by feeding my soul quite closely. And yeah, and it's been nice and fun to do this and not be interrupted for the first time in 2 months. amazing. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll be back soon. I'm planning to do like an update on my creative project soon, because now I've got a bit of time to focus on that side of the channel again. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon.